Motion to approve.
I'll make a second.
We have a motion and a second for last month's minutes. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Oh, yes.
First thing on the agenda tonight under old business is the City Hall update. So there's the man with the plan right there, Seth.
All right, Mayor, thank you. Well, I am glad we're in here tonight. This is nice being able to meet in the city's own building. So I'm glad we're here. There are a couple of small issues that we've been working with the contractor to come back on. He's addressed most of them, and I think a couple of them have to do with the doors, fixing some minor issues with those. There's also I don't know if Nancy, you had a chance to look at that. I sent over those, the FEMA guidelines on getting like they want us to do a kind of a plan. And what it is just to put people in charge in the event of a storm, that there'll be like a direct kind of a chain of command, and to look at who do you look at when an event comes forward, and anyway, I sent some guidance documentation, and I'll be glad to sit down sometime with you all and help if you all need me in that process to help get the final and draft. But it's a lot of the decisions are going to be the cities to come up with how, who they want to have keys and when does it need to be open. And I think that's a big thing. And a lot of it is left up to the city, but I think I think you can establish some guidelines with help of those guidance documents to help get a plan together. So I'll be happy to, once you all had a chance to look at that, if you need my involvement, I'll be happy to sit down and help out with that whenever possible.
I've just had a little bit of chance to read through them. Some of it is like you decide whether it's going to be tornado watch, tornado warning, whether they're allowed to bring pets. You have to have water and first aid supplies here at all times. Somebody has to be in charge of the generator. Somebody has to be in charge of the head count. Somebody has to be in charge of the. There's something there.
Someone has to get here to open it, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's just some of the things. I didn't get a chance. There's several pages. I just didn't get a chance to get copied off today. You might want to.
When do we have to have that implemented? Is there a date on that?
I don't think it's necessarily a date, but I would imagine FEMA probably, when they do the final report on this, at that time, I would imagine they want to see something.
Okay.
See something in place. I would say in the meantime, we probably just need to err on the side of when to open it if there's if there's inclement weather dangerous weather being called for, probably need to go ahead and put somebody in charge of opening it up on those. But I say the sooner the better we can get this done, really.
Yeah.
To have it in place, so the room will be open when it's needed. But I don't think there's a specific deadline, but I want to see it finished before the last report of the team.
So I guess the only thing we need to, we can draw up everything except for the time you want to open it, like on a watch or a warning or.
I think, you have days where that severe weather is a possibility, and you can't just open it when there's a warning, because that's going to be too late. Because the warning is going to come and it's going to hit. So I would say if there's a tornado watch issue, because of course tornado watches can go for hours at a time, but if you wait until a warning, it's not going to give a lot of folks time to get up here if they need it. Yeah. That's just my opinion, but
I guess that's something we can think about on how we wanna do that. We probably need to know, you probably need to know before the next meeting though, don't you?
I probably won't have a, because I haven't turned in the final on the FEMA yet,
Okay.
so they won't even consider an audit, audit
First of the year, maybe.
till then,
Yeah,
but
probably.
that's just, it's trying to read this other, the sample one.
Yeah, there were a couple of samples that we found, and there's simple, there's some that are really detailed, or some
Yeah.
that I think for the first round of, something you can modify later, but I would
Right,
think
you
try to keep
can
it
add
simple.
to or
Yeah,
keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah, one of the samples had no tests allowed, another sample had tests in a carrier case in another area, which we don't.
We don't have another area.
Well, all the stuff would be in that, right?
Yeah. That's something,
Manager, safe room coordinator, a building and equipment manager.
Do those each have to be different people?
They can be the same people, but if,
Or,
I for one don't want to be that same people.
well, or maybe instead of, maybe two, one person can handle two things and one person can handle two more things, you know what I'm saying? Something like that.
as far as the generator, it's supposed to take care of itself unless there is a maintenance, and it should have a manual bypass on it where,
It does. It's got where you can manually throw the ATM
right,
and crank it up. But you shouldn't, this thing is set to run once a week anyway. So if anything is gonna go wrong with it, or is wrong with it, generally we'll know.
right, if it don't kick
if
on
it
at a
don't
certain
kick on
time.
or something.
But there has to be records also.
Yeah.
of the generator, whether it's
Been,
serviced or.
right,
Kept up, whatever.
Right.
Have
It's
your
supposed to log
maintenance-
when somebody.
Maintenance log, yeah.
All the time.
That's gotta be part of the plan. That's why they call it building and equipment manager. That's in the theme what I got right there.
Well, when they do your PMs and stuff, I believe, did we ever get the paperwork on the generator? I don't believe we received that paperwork.
Yeah, no, the operations manual,
No.
and that kind of thing, okay. I'll check on that, see if we got on the contract.
Because I know the night that they tested it, I was actually up here and spoke to the gentleman, and he gave Keith's Electric representative a copy of them, and then that'll be the book that actually has your PMs and whatnot, and maintenance log,
Okay.
because he showed that particular part to me. I don't believe we received their HVAC neither.
but that's something the board can be thinking about between now and next month on
Look at a copy
what y'all's,
of what the rules and things is, maybe
Yeah.
have a couple of it together for a work session or something, and look over it, and after we get a chance to look over it and see.
There was one plan on there that was 73 pages, but it involved big cities, so I didn't print that one out. But I'll look at these.
Could we check with somebody or close to us that, see what their plan is, maybe?
You guys still got their plan yet?
Have they adopted one?
No, they haven't, even- so if y'all are not.
I know Paris built one a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I could check, see if I can track one down.
they probably kept it simple.
I think so. Of course, theirs is one of the schools over
Right,
there.
exactly.
So all the school stuff takes precedent first, and then if it's non-school hours, then they have a different setup, I think, a different
The
setup.
sample I have in here is the school.
Is it? Okay. So,
I didn't want to see anything.
yeah. So, but I'm sure that one's, the school stuff takes precedent, school hours are most important during the school day, but then, of course, we don't have school in here, so any time of day it could be. For some reason, we seem to get most of our severe weather at nighttime around here.
Yeah,
At
I
least we
know.
have the last few years.
Yeah. So that's something we can, be thinking about between now and next month, how we wanna, draw this up. Probably try to keep it as simple as we can. We'll look at what other cities have done and, see what we can come up with.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be good, Sid.
Start simple, and if we see something else that needs to be added, we can add as we go.
Right.
Yeah, and share people a little bit at a time.
Anything else, Seth?
No, that's all, Mayor.
Go ahead.
But we will get Steve on these, the one I've got, well, you don't have a copy of this, the one I've got highlighted in bold, I think is a very big issue.
Yeah, I do need a copy of that if you all got that. Okay. Hey,
Yeah, we've
does he
actually
have that? Does
talked
Steve
about
have
that before the meeting. Steve's supposed to come work on it.
Yeah, Steve's talked to me about the door, I don't think he's got it.
You said put weather stripping on it, that's not a good idea.
Can I, is that my
Yeah,
copy?
that's your
Yeah.
copy.
I'm sorry, I thought I gave it up there, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
It's just all minor stuff, though.
No, it needs to be taken care of right now.
And, I've talked to Kenneth and Nancy too. We're talking about, getting a clean, somebody come in at night and clean. We're gonna get a list of what we want them to do to clean in just a couple hours a night and maybe take bids on that. Whoever, just let out the bids and whoever gets the bid on it, on the cleaning part of it. So, but they're in the process of working that up too, so maybe the next meeting night we can have something on that.
And that's actually one of the things in the FEMA plan, it has to be cleaned after every event.
Right, okay.
And we've still got to get guidelines of renting it and all that stuff too.
I think some people's actually called Nancy about already
I've had
renting it.
people ask me about it, which is a good thing. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's just.
we just got to have some time to get everything finished.
When is our closing scheduled on
November the 7th
November the 7th?
at 2:30 p.m.
Which is Thursday.
And we're gonna do it here,
And we'll end it there.
right. Anybody have any questions else on the city hall? There's something else I was gonna ask, forgot it slipped by me.
Well, I don't have a question really, but a comment. I think we've done a good thing here. Once, we've got some things to work out, but I think it's going to be good for the community with the tornado-safe space room, and then, of course, place for folks to have a get-together or something. And Nancy already told me the drive-through's been used quite a bit already, which is going to be, especially in the winter months, cold months, or if it's raining, that's going to be good for our citizens. So I think I think it's a good thing that we've done, especially not spending any more money than we have.
Right.
Mayor, I do have one thing. Do you remember last month's meeting we discussed the curbs?
Well, I wasn't here at the last month's meeting.
Do you remember when we were discussing the curbs? And we give Steve the go-ahead, I think it was gonna be at a cost of $2,200 or something like that to the city. Possibly this Friday, they'll be here putting
Okay.
the curbs on. And I spoke with him a couple of days ago, asked him where we was at on that, because we was actually hoping it would be the week that we moved in. Something happened to his contractor, but it's looking like now it's probably gonna be sometime
This week?
This week.
Okay.
That's that's the possibility with it. That's what we're hoping for. It may actually be better if he waits till next week, which would be better on the drive. They're curving that inside all the way around on there. Next week. I may actually
This is
call
the first of
him
the month, so
back. May actually call him back, and ask him if he can wait till after the 10th.
after the 10th. And another thing while we're on City Hall, I guess we need to look at scheduling a, open house date, maybe.
Yeah. I'm working on it. I'd like to get everything in here.
Well, it's, of course, I know it's late in the year and the holidays are coming up. I just, maybe the first of the year would,
Yeah, I'd like to get the stuff in the kitchen.
I know we need furniture and get the kitchen supplies and I know, it's coming up all the holidays, people gonna be on vacation, employees be on vacation. It's gonna be hard to get anything done between now and then.
Yeah.
But that's another date that, the board can be thinking about too, when we get a little further in it next month, by scheduling a date anyway.
After I get this bond closed, I'll forget.
Right. See what we're gonna do for an open house. Anything else on the city hall? And I agree with Timmy. I think the community is gonna enjoy it as much as we do in the years to come. So I'm glad. I think it's a good thing for the community and the people here, and looking forward to getting it all going and using it. So next thing under old business is the disaster grant generators.
The contractor is still in the process of dealing with the subcontractor on the concrete. Kind of looks like right now, next week, or towards the end of next week will be the start date on this. Dean called me today and yesterday. He is actually in Birmingham today and could not make it tonight. But the projected start, I think the day we signed was his first date. He told us at that time it would be like the 4th or the 5th whenever he come in and actually begin work. So we're just a couple of days later than what he originally said in the pre-construction meeting. We did, in the last meeting, you wasn't here, but we talked about our surplus funds that we had left over, to take those, and we give Dean the go-ahead to pursue moving one of our pump stations.
Yeah.
He sent it to the state. We did get approved.
We did, okay.
We are going to be able to
Get the one above ground.
get the one above ground, and the one he's working on is the Harrison Creek pump station. And he thinks we've got enough to do one and maybe buy a spare motor for the other one down on 147, 149, going to the lake.
Right.
And I think, didn't he send a piece of paper down, the mayor's got to sign a contract, has he signed that?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that's where I seen it at last Thursday, but there's a piece of paper you have to sign to get
Okay.
it moving forward, but the state did approve us using the leftover funds to
That's
raise
good.
one of them up above ground.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it is. I mean, now we're yet to see where we're allowed to come.
Well, this is 100% grant.
Yes.
This don't cost us nothing. I know Nancy's, look, she's shaking her head, but. Next order of business under old business is the second reading on ordinance 2013-163. I wasn't here last month, so not familiar with that.
And
So.
it's the money for painting the tank and
Oh, okay.
inspecting the tank.
Okay.
Not painting, cleaning the tanks.
Cleaning the tank.
Inspecting the tank.
Yeah,
They actually
I
done.
talked
that
to
last
Dean
week.
before 3 weeks ago. He said they had some sand in them.
Some seals.
Okay.
Where it comes out of, they have,
Seal.
they've actually cleaned them and videoed the 2 above ground tanks. And while they was on the one at the city hall, in your packet, or what Nancy handed out tonight, we've had a couple of issues on some lightning strikes in the last couple of months. And as Mr. Cunningham come down, anyway, Dean and them was up there videoing the above ground tank. And I asked him, we still had 2 or 3 old antennas on the water tank.
Yeah.
So they actually removed them for us.
Okay.
So hopefully it'll help a little
A little bit on the lightning.
on the lightning strike. But there's a reason why everything's getting burned up, and when we get into new business, I'll kind of tell you
Okay.
what Mr. Cunningham told me.
Okay. So this is the second reading on, I guess, paying Dean for the
And then the guys that cleaned them.
cleaning and tank
They've already been
inspection.
cleaned then?
Yes, they're done. They was done
And
last
there's no other major,
We ain't got the report back yet.
Yeah.
There was nothing visual, you know, that
Couldn't
they
handle-
seen
right.
right then that really needed attention.
So this is cleaning and inspections. Okay. Do I hear a motion to pass a second reading on the ordinance for tank
I'll
inspections?
make a motion to do that. Okay, second.
No, second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Yes.
Okay. Next thing under old business is the Houston County School Board request.
You- I actually spoke to Seth about this tonight, and you wasn't here last week, but do you remember back a year or so ago when we was approached by the bus garage asking if they may be able to use part of our property adjoining the school for an
Yeah.
ingress and egress for school
Right,
buses?
right.
Last month, Seth come to the board and asked if he could have permission to be on the property to do them some groundwork to figure out what they want to do. He said they pretty well got it done, but he don't want to present nothing to our board
Okay.
until he presents it to the school board.
Okay,
Because it may not even be nothing that they want to do, but he said if they want to move forward with it, that he'd be back up here next month with us some type of a proposal.
Okay.
Or what they would like to do on that.
well, I think
Section of that
the school board's worked with us in the past on several different things, so I'm sure we can,
Yeah, they've been accommodating with us on our pump station and whatnot, so.
right, so. I'm sure whatever they want to go through with, we'd be,
But he said he would be back next month to kind of, he wanted to present them what he had and see if they wanted to move forward before he said anything else to us about it.
okay. Anything else under old business? Sid, you got anything?
No, old business. You and Woody know about the closing on Thursday.
Thursday,
I expect you all to.
right,
Did you know that you need to be there? We have the city seal.
okay. I guess we're doing, we're gonna do it here, okay.
Here, that's right.
Okay, so the seal should be here. Right. I think last time,
Everything's gonna be here.
I think last time your secretary was doing some speeding, trying to get the city sealed back down
Hit the
here.
run and come and get the seal.
Yeah,
It's been a year, what, a year and a half that we've not been having
Uh,
meetings in our city?
has it been that long?
been a year, I think, at
A
least.
little over a
What,
year.
not having city hall meetings? 2 years.
2 years.
2 years, oh, yeah, yeah.
That's another thing that the school board's been real accommodating.
They have, they have,
They really have.
Be there.
right. And, like I said, they've been awful good to us, so I think whatever they need to do over there around the school, we could probably
Figure out a way to.
figure out a way to get, to make it work anyway.
But I don't have anything else, man.
Okay. That, the meeting, the closing is at 2:30? 2:30 Thursday. You'll have to remind me. Okay. Call you too. If nothing else under old business, we'll move on to new business. And, under new business here, we have glass for a city hall front area, so I'm sure that's,
Kind of fill you in on what, in our plans of picking out the city hall, we knew what we didn't want, and it kind of got misinterpreted whenever it got put on paper. We said we didn't want no low glasses, small holes where you had to reach in the hole. We kind of wanted it open. We got totally open. So what we want to try to secure it a little bit, and me and Nancy had talked, and we wanted to bring it up for the board to see if they was in favor of doing this, to get a hold of the glass contractor that done the windows, and we can, the big area at the desk, we can put a piece of glass and a mullion up there to see through, and then about halfway across, we'll do another one, and then we just ain't gonna have that whole area open. We'll have a smaller area with some type of a door that we can slide back and forth
Right.
or open and close. Just, you know, we don't keep a lot of cash in there, but you don't want nobody getting
No.
shot over it
No.
or getting hurt over it. And it was just something that we overlooked in the planning stage of this. We said what we didn't want, and what we didn't want was like we had at Nov City Hall, a little U-shape with a speaker you spoke through. And I guess we just never did go back and address the issue and kind of thought somebody else did, and then when it got built, nobody ever addressed it. But I'm gonna get a hold of them and see if there's a glass company out of Waverly and then one out of Clarksville that done this, and I'll get us 2 or 3 bids and see.
We definitely need something.
Yeah, you know, it's just something to keep somebody from trying to jump over the counter. And with both of them here, it ain't near as bad as with just one of them here.
Right.
At least they can secure one whole side and they don't have to worry about nobody coming in.
Right.
We worried about securing everything else up, but we forgot about the service counter. But that's what that is.
Okay.
And I'll get us some prices.
You get a bid on it, or prices on it.
And figure out about what it's gonna run, and then we'll run it for bid in the paper. I think it'll probably come in a little lower. Our approval limit, the board will have to approve it.
Okay. I think under new business too, Ms. Schmidt, you got the floor.
Oh, thank you. As all of you may know, started the quilt trail in 2008. And I got a call this year from Five Rivers RC&D, and they have some money to get rid of. So I said, oh, got my attention now. So pass these out. These are the ones that we've got out now. We put up one last Monday, a new one, and one today. Those went on, you know where Ann Morrison used to live out on Brooks Road, Robin Freeman and
Oh, yeah,
those, okay,
Mhm.
one there and one Ralph Sullivan.
Okay.
They-
Out on Bateman Branch?
Right. Anyway, 6 quilts. They have offered $1,000, and that covers 6 quilts. 5 of them are taken. And I wondered if the city, TennesseeRidge City Hall would be interested in buying the 6th quilt.
Okay.
I'll pass this around too. This is what the signboard looks like. It'll be 8 feet by 8 feet. Now, Erin's City Hall
Right.
has theirs on the side.
Right.
And it'll be totally visible
From,
on the side of your building here if you choose to take advantage of this. They're $300 for an 8 by 8. And you have to put that money up front and then get the $150 back later. But RC&D did vote to give us that money, but I've got a deadline.
okay.
And they waited late in the year to let us know this, but, so we're feverishly trying to get these done. And we put wood behind that sign right there, treated lumber,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes it stick out a bit, kind of 3D-ish, and makes it more attractive. But Humphreys County, they are interested in hooking on as well. It started, I think, in Tennessee, well, this part of Tennessee, in Stewart County.
Stewart County. I knew there was several of them in Stewart County on the, through
Several of
town.
them in Clarksville.
Several of
I've seen several around the Clarksville
Yeah.
area.
Right.
They're all hooking on. It's a tourism educational thing, and everybody in here has been covered by quilt. And the stories behind them are quite interesting. And for TennesseeRidge, I come to mind a blue and gold Mustang. But you don't have to let me know right now. That's just over, but I need to know probably within a week, you know, so that we can get that started.
Okay.
Because like I said, my deadline is up in 2013. And it takes a good 3 weeks. Right now, we're trying to get volunteers to work on 2 at a time, so I might 4 more. It's a big job. We cover them with frog juice. We use exterior paint, and frog juice is a UV retardant, keeps it shiny, and the colors don't fade.
I know the one you put on the flower shop's been up, what,
Yeah.
5, 6 years now? And
That
it's,
was
it's still in pretty good shape. I think the fellas, when they put the roof on,
Well,
I seen y'all repairing it today.
we put the story of that up today.
Did you, is that what y'all doing down there?
Yeah, you know, everybody looked at it, that's nice, what is it? But the story from the Irish lady that she's been on, I don't know, you're not familiar with the quilting shows, but she's been on the National Quilting Show, and she is strictly a Celtic quilter. Now, Celtic quilts are not like ordinary quilts. The material is appliqued onto other material. That means it's sewn on top of it. So I'm pretty sure we're the only Celtic quilt trail in the whole country. So,
What was the price of that again?
$300 for an 8x8.
Okay.
I went to East Tennessee, the tourism conference over there, and they had to get 600 over there. I went around, I thought, I think I can beat that. There would be one coat of paint, like $70, which is more expensive.
Right.
So I went around to different businesses, paint shops, and I asked for mistinted paint. And some of them just gave it to me to get it out of the way. Because, people bring back their old paint. So I thought, I'm kind of a scrounge, so I managed to. They said, no way will you be able to do it for $300. And I thought, they don't know me. But that's what it is. And we've got smaller sizes as well. But the grant is covered.
Where would it go? I don't know.
Probably the east side right here.
Right on the east side. When you come around the curve, you can see it.
Yeah.
People going to the lake.
Eldon Smith is getting one on his gray building. That's what we're working on right now.
Okay.
And Jason is getting one on his shop. And Kendall. Oh.
Oh, okay. On the lumber yard.
But we are more populated, so therefore we should have more.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right.
I like to tell that.
Well, it is, it's got a lot of history behind it. I mean, if anybody's read talking about the quilt trail.
Well, it's catching on. Like I said, Humphreys County wants to do it, and it's been my dream to go all the way to Alabama.
Okay.
And just because women come by the bus load, we've already had tours come to the county.
Just to see all the quilt.
Yes. And just, of course, they bring their husbands along too. They never do the end of it. But I take these brochures to the welcome centers, and they can't hardly keep them in there because people want to come see, what's going on.
Well, any questions for?
Now, would our design be that right there, or the one you passed around here?
No, you pick out your own
Okay.
design and your own colors. It's the best thing for you to do for color-wise. There's thousands of colors of red. Just go to a paint store and get their samples, and I'll try to match it as close as I can. But you see
say
some
blue
of there
and gold.
that's not Celtic, but
Blue and gold.
Well, yeah, it'd have to be blue and gold.
yeah.
I'm sure you could work with that.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. All my kids do. I'm not born here, but I've been here for over 46 years, so I'm good native. I'm pretty well home. All my kids went to TennesseeRidge. Yeah. I'm a red runner.
There you go.
So we picked the colors and you designed it.
You picked a pattern too.
Well, that sounds even better, ain't it?
Yeah, you can go online, I can work with you, or whatever you think. Go online to Celtic Quilt Designs, and you'll just be tired of looking at quilt patterns after a while.
But you need to know this within the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, at least, I
So
can say
the board will
yours
have
for
to make
last.
a decision on
Probably tonight, yeah.
Yeah, time is, we'll get on the volunteer list.
Well, I mean, like you said, I mean, it's, it's not a great deal of money. I mean, it's money, but it's not a great deal of money, and it's another thing, way we can, show our interest in the quilt trail, plus to the community by doing the Mustang, the blue and gold, and by displaying it on the new city hall that hopefully will be here a long time. So.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're proud of it, and I thought, who can I give, as about 6 women, I thought, it's a no-brainer, but
Yeah.
Erin's got one, and
Right.
I didn't want to do.
Oh, we got to keep up with them.
We're larger than that.
We're larger than them. Oh, man.
Just keep those
Well-
brochures there. Oh, okay.
I make a motion that we go ahead and be part of the Celtic Quilt Trail and for $300.
Really, actually, 150, she's going to give
She
them.
goes give
Oh,
150.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You get that back later.
but up front, I've got to show that
Right.
Yeah,
they're all paid for. I'm actually.
I think it's good and people enjoy it. There'll be some. I make a motion we go ahead and go for it.
I see.
You guys see? Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve the $300 for the Celtic Quilt Trail. And all in favor say aye. Aye.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
See Nancy
Yeah.
for your money. And the designs too. And I'm sure if any of the board members want to have some input on design, Nancy's always up here, so when she gets the patterns and all, come by, and I'm sure none of the men really care about it. I don't want to say that, but we know how the women are. If the women's happy, everybody's happy. So. Okay. Anything else under new business?
If you'll look in your papers, it was laying out there for you tonight, you'll see an invoice for Jimmy coming from Cunningham Electric Contractor. We had a problem with the pressure switch that keeps the tank at the old city hall from overflowing. And he was up here 2 weeks ago and worked on it. And this ain't the first time that we've had an issue with this. And we've had a few lightning strike issues. I think we had a siren, the radio control went out in the siren. And back some time ago, we had a pump that was actually hit. Well, Mr. Cunningham got to checking around. There is nothing connected on the common ground up there. There's no field ground for the water tank, the city hall, everything has got independent ground. The pressure switch has just got a ground rod drove outside the pit there. His suggestion is that we tie every building that we've got there to a common ground. As per se, put a field ground in and ground every building we've got, every electrical service we got to it, plus ground the water tank sticking up. It does not have a ground on it. I guess in the day that they felt like the concrete was grounded enough if it ever got hit the light. But his suggestion is to put a ground, and he actually sent me a sketch with this, and it kind of comes around behind the old city hall, picks up that service, the tornado siren, the fire hall, and then he comes back around, picks up the water tank, goes over and picks up the three-phase going into the pump's house, and then it picks up both clear wells, and then they tie back together. Now his price on this, us providing the trenching or digging, him providing labor and materials, is $62.50. And he says it will probably be less than that, but it depends on how quick we end up giving him an answer. He said he built it for the fluctuation in copper prices. It'll be a ground rod every 8 foot with a 2/0 bare copper going through this old ditch to catch up all the ground. And that's his proposed price, and he seems to think it'll come in cheaper than that. He just left it a little high. It took us a little longer to make a decision. he said this price would probably be good until about next week sometime, and then you'd have to re-quote it. But this will be coming from water and sewer, or water and sewer fund.
And the last time it got the switch, you're talking about, how much was that, the switch? Did the insurance cover that, or?
No, I don't think the insurance covers a pressure switch. It's a pretty sensitive piece of equipment, and it'll get hit before anything else does. You'll not have anything else to show up. Shane, do you remember off the top of your head, since you've been there, we had to work on it 2 or 3 times? Shane or Larry, either one? And seems like we had something about a year ago. And then we had the tornado siren. I think it's actually been a couple of times, and I don't believe it was it turned in on insurance? Remember when we had to replace the one module in
The one that actually called it to trip?
Yeah, we had to redo one relay and one antenna module. And those were both from lightning hits, and insurance didn't pay for them. They're a little more sensitive than per se our pumps and whatnot. But I told Jerry come to me with it, and I called Mr. Cunningham, and this is what he come back to me with. I told him to give me a bid what it costs to do a field ground, to ground everything together, to where nothing will jump from one and feed back to the other.
I don't know how much we've already spent out on it, on lightning strikes. I mean, we've probably done spent enough out to have covered the 6,000, I don't know, over the last 2 years. Do I?
I just know something all the time.
Yeah, I know.
Use the things that, you know.
I honestly would have figured the water tank would have had a field ground around it personally.
Well, I thought it would have too, had a grid.
It don't. And his explanation to me was, at the time that tank was erected in probably 60s, late 60s, early 70s, that they figured the concrete would work enough of a ground. And then we still got issues at the Graves Crossing. We actually got hit up there with it 2 years ago when we lost the whole tank of water. Lightning hit the tower, run down the pipe. It's steel down to probably 50 yards outside the tank base, and it blows a section of pipe plumb out of the ground. It dumped in just a few seconds, didn't it?
I remember that.
About what field of Eldon's Pond plumb up there, I think, washed
With fresh
fish away. But I mean, it all just happened, just an electrical storm. But that's another issue altogether.
Yeah, I'm like Nancy, it seems like it's something all the time.
And I get confused why.
This should help with some of the,
Yes, it'll relieve the principles behind it.
It gives it a place to go.
Right.
It gives lightning a place to go. And like in the substation, we have like he's talking about here, we have a grid in the whole sub where if lightning hits, none of our equipment sees it. It all goes to this
Collects
grid.
it there.
Yeah, it just spreads it out in the ground.
Our telephone office over here has got a ground around the perimeter. Like Stoney said, it's designed to be such a great of a ground with a ground rod over 8 foot that it's supposed to suck it to end rather than go into anything else.
yeah.
Should save everything you got.
It's supposed to save all your equipment.
Yeah.
We ground
Of
everything.
course, back years ago, nobody had all this sensitive printed circuit equipment, no computers. And lightning is not hard on an electric motor, like a refrigerator or a washing machine, or electric motor can take it, but these printed circuits and all can't. It just fries them. It just it just can't take it.
That's just like our industry. I mean,
Oh yeah.
grounded wasn't an issue with us till 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a big issue now.
Yeah, and we honestly laughed at them, but hey,
Yeah.
It works.
what they're talking
It works.
It made a world of difference in our stuff, the grounds, like we're talking.
And I don't see how y'all keep all that printed electronic stuff going.
It don't always
during the lightning storm.
It gets bit.
Well,
Okay, what do we need to do?
well, I guess we just need to know we're gonna spend $6,200 or not to try to fix this problem.
You take bids, like, won't you?
Yes.
We will end up having to take.
On that amount of money, we'll have to bid it out. That's with us furnishing the ditch digging.
Yes. We'll furnish the labor of digging the ditch and filling it back up. He'll furnish
The ground rods and the copper,
copper and the
all the
flat
connectors,
weld on the fastening.
all the connectors on the tanks and all that
Right.
stuff. He'll furnish all
He'll
that.
furnish all that. But like I said, we will have to bid this, and I made it clear to him that we'd have to bid it out if y'all approved to move forward with it, and he said that, like I said, he said he put it high enough because he figured we would have to bid it, but he said if he does it here pretty quick, that it will be cheaper.
John, if he does it for 2,500, we'll let him do it.
Yeah,
I actually tried to get him to give me a price for us furnishing the copper and the ground rod. It would probably be more if we done it that way, because he's probably buys so much.
he probably gets a discount on the copper and the rods too. He probably uses copper clad rods,
He does.
so. Some things about $20 a pop.
Yeah, I owe you 3 of them, too. I've already done
And they're gonna drive them every, what'd you say, every 8 feet?
Well,
It's a situation, you spend it, and next time it lightens, you still have stuff burn up with it, But this, it's like Kenneth said, it will take care of a lot of it. It'll do its job. I mean,
It'll diminish it a great deal.
it'll take a whole lot of it off.
Okay, what do we call the project?
a bonding.
A bonding project.
Yeah, it's a bonding project of all of our
Equipment.
facilities at the old City Hall location. All of our tanks, above ground storage tanks, pump stations, City Hall and Fire Hall, they're all such close proximity. It can actually hit over here at the Fire Hall, run the ground back, and hit the City Hall or the pump station or the siren. I mean, lightning works in funny ways, but that's what he's telling us that's happening. It's running in on the ground on the power, and then it's jumping to the next source it's got, and that's when it's popping.
Well, what do we need money for? To create a
Field
lightning?
Yeah,
Right, it's called a field ground.
field ground.
And then every building will be hooked to it, so that'll be the most powerful ground you've got, so everything's gonna run to this circle ground that you've got run around your lot right there.
So, do we need to appropriate the money first?
Well, we
We gotta bid it,
we,
move ahead.
and then we'll get bids, and then y'all just really need to see if it's something that y'all wanna move forward.
we can actually go ahead and bid it, and if we get the bids and think they're too high, we can reject all the bids, so.
So right now, we just need a motion to bid it out. That's
Right.
what we need.
That's what I was trying to say.
There you go, okay. Okay. So you make the motion?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'll
But
second.
I was wondering what to call it, so you make a
Okay.
motion to do
Tim,
this.
I'll second.
All in favor of bidding the field ground job out, say aye. Aye.
Right, yeah. And what we need is to just put it in the paper. That will-
Yes, Kenneth take care of it, he will advertise it and get it out in the next, I imagine it'd be several electricians probably bid on that. Especially with this opening the ditch, it'd be a pretty, take some time consuming, but it'd be a pretty simple job.
I think they may actually use our trencher over at the phone company, so they don't have to dig it up.
Dig it up with a backhoe.
Have a 18-inch dig.
Yeah, you don't need it over that wide, but not very deep. Anything else under new business? Something that don't cost money.
Well, you don't want to hear about this.
If it's gonna cost money, we don't wanna hear about it.
Spencer? We actually was called on mutual aid to haul water to the trailer park on
Right.
Old Sturt Road last week. In the process, we had our tanker truck go down. We slung a U-joint. When it slung the U-joint out, the back of the transmission has a plate on it. I don't know if it's part of the drive shaft of the transmission, but the problem is it's discontinued. We called Mid-10 Ford. I've got a couple of more numbers that I'm gonna call tomorrow that I got today that maybe we can find one. But if we don't, we may actually end up having to take the tanker truck out of service. It can't go nowhere.
It's just that plate that goes on the back of the,
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
spice
somebody
transmission.
fabricated.
They might can, but they're gonna have to have a pretty good machine shop to do it. The way you got a shaft that comes out the transmission that's flying. It goes over it. Comes out of that and goes into a round circle about this size, and then inside that it's got two places where the U-joint lays down in there, and the two saddles where the U-joint go over it. If we could find someone, we may be able to, we could find someone with a machine shop that could do it. The way when it broke and come out, the way it done the whole...
front one, or, you said it's the front one,
It's the front. But we're still looking, trying to get a part, but it's not looking real good.
What model is that old truck?
74.
78.
78.
78, I thought it was 74.
Ford, ain't it?
Ford 7000. Mr. Bush lived down there beside the ferry.
Yeah.
It's just like his log truck. And I've been aiming to call him, see if he may have some spare transmission for us. There's got to be one out there, just finding it. When scrap metal went up as high as it did.
Yeah, I know,
the
it
last
jumped
few
a
years,
bunch of them.
a lot of that stuff went to the smelter and it ain't out there no more. But I just wanted to make y'all
So
aware
the tanker's down right
The
now?
tanker is down. It's been down for about a week and a half. And hopefully we'll find something by next month. I know that, I heard Merwin Lewis was actually selling a couple trucks.
Yeah.
And I called to check and see about what they thought they was gonna sell for. A whole lot higher than our trucks go for. But we need to try to find us a part if at all possible at the present time.
Okay.
But it's not going real good.
I don't think it would be that big of a deal to get it in, the part in, I mean, to actually install it.
Oh, it's not. Spencer and them.
Yeah, we took it out.
Yeah.
We just can't find a replacement.
Just, so when it come out, it just broke it? It broke that plate?
Well, it didn't break the plate, but it watered the ears.
Oh, okay,
all of it,
okay.
and the two holes were a whole tin and watered them all.
Okay.
I actually took it down to Magna Manufacturing and see if they could,
Fabricate one?
fix it on it. So I said he wasn't gonna mess with it.
What about Pooh? We might could say something to Johnny, because if, I don't believe we can patch it.
Oh, this Dove's got nothing like that, has he?
It'd have to be a total.
Out in his garage?
He makes everything, but I don't know about that.
And we may take it to him and let him look at it. It'd be something that, I didn't know if it may be something in his realm of workings or not. We'll take it by down there and let him look at it and see if he can do anything with it.
And if he can't, he might know somebody that you can contact.
So did it just tear up? I mean, just...
The U-joint went out.
Which is a common thing, hauling a load like that.
The joints go out. I had to have some replacement.
And when it did, it just, one bolt broke. The other hung
Helped.
and bent everything. And then where the little saddle where these caps of the U-joint, it just kind of beat one of them plumb off and filled and knocked it into the boat hole.
Been better off if both boats had broken, just dropped the drive shaft.
Yeah, it really was.
That isn't the one that got stuck down there and had to be pulled out during that time, was it?
It wasn't stuck, it just actually broke. And they called me and asked if Larry could take the dump truck and pull it in, and I told him yes, he could.
Okay.
But it was not stuck, he was in the process of turning around to go get more water.
Well, you can hear anything. I just wanted to
True.
clarify that.
True, he went to back in to dump his load of water, and when he put it in reverse, that's when it all come apart. We didn't move no more after that, did we, Joe? Well, we wasn't mud balls then. I didn't no mud on the cars, or
I just heard about it having to be, one down there having to be pulled out when it was something about being stuck.
But we
with
try to
that
find a
so
part
I
and
just
go from there.
need to
right?
clarify that for my
They
information.
count
I
as a
just wanted to make y'all aware of it if we get called to supply a tanker that we don't have one at the present time.
okay.
But we are diligently looking for a part.
Like I said, he might run it by Mr. Hill.
See if it may be something that
He can,
in his line of expertise.
he can patch.
Or send it somewhere that can fix it, or fabricate it for them.
Right.
One more
Okay.
thing, Mayor.
Okay, as long as it don't cost no money.
It ain't. Several of y'all have asked me about our new employee we hired, which he is here tonight. That's Mr. Shane Travis. Shane, if you would stand up, introduce yourself to the board, and he is in the process of training for our water superintendent job. I believe this spring you're going to actually be able to take your first distribution test. We didn't get all of our time records in to be able for him to take it. I guess it's this month, ain't it, or was it last month they had one?
It's this month.
We didn't get all of that paperwork in for him to be able to go take it this month, so we're going to have to wait till the spring session, and hopefully we'll have his distribution license. Then we're going to start on the 2nd. But several of y'all have asked me, you hadn't met him. That's Mr. Shane Travis.
That's me.
Now, I'm done.
Okay. Sid, you got anything?
Don't have anything.
Okay. Anybody in the board? Ann, Ms. Hill, y'all got anything you want to talk about? Got a lot of stuff, a lot of paperwork to get taken care of in the next couple of months. I don't think you City Hall, but we'll iron it all out, so.
I've heard a lot of compliments on it.
I have too. I've heard a lot of compliments, like I said before. I think
it's great to have it sitting up here.
If anybody does get anything said to them about the white mold growing on the side of City Hall, it had just become out in the last Thursday. It wasn't there. I got the call today. It was there. I contacted Steve and I contacted Seth. It is something to do with
the mortar.
the mortar.
I asked the board today. They claim it's salt or calcium coming out of the. Actually, his house did it when he built his house, and he called the masonry, the people that laid and they said it would eventually quit after it runs its course. But you can spray it off. You can spray it off. It'll come right back out.
How
But,
long does it take it to run its course?
well,
Steve said usually with most of his.
about a year.
Most of his, he said he lets it come out the first time, he cleans them, it never comes back. He said the last, Dover's office, the doctor's office in Dover, and a house he built in the last couple of years done it. He said he didn't know if they kind of changed something in the compound mix or something they're laying in brick, but anyway, it's a calcium coming out of
It's
it.
just, yeah,
And he said,
it's just drying and,
he said, more likely we'll clean this off, but it's bad, I'm telling you.
yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. Whenever Leslie sent me the picture, I said, I was just up there Thursday night and I checked and I drove around that way. I didn't see nothing water. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. He's gonna be up here this week to
Spray it off.
get it cleaned off. I think he's actually gonna ask the boys.
I was going to say, I had several ask me, didn't they clean that? But no, that's just mortar on there, you know.
No, it's like a dust. You can rake it off. It's salt. Well, that's all we got. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Second.
There you go. All in favor say aye.
We've got something like that on the side of our building down there.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Meeting to order. Do a roll call.
Alderman Bailey?
Here.
Alderman Campbell?
Here.
Alderman Dunn?
Here.
Alderman Finley?
Yes.
Alderman Gooden? Alderman Lincoln?
Here.
Alderman Mitchell? Alderman Taylor,
Here.
Mayor Parchman,
Here.
Mr. Jim.
Here.
Have one.
Everybody get a chance to look at your minutes? Could we
Motion to approve.
get a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. We have a communication from the mayor. We've been talking to Mr. Harris, our engineer. He got us the big grinding machine down here today, and we've ground on Spring Street. Got it looking in pretty good shape. We hopefully, if it don't rain, they'll be in here tomorrow laying the finished coat on. If it rains, then it'll probably be Thursday. Both our bridges has got the bind already down on it, and our annual tree lighting with ham giveaway. Craft fair will be Friday, December the 6th. If you would like to donate a ham, contact Betty McKinnon, and it's 931-289-4631. We want to say thanks to the Houston County Animal Clinic. They painted the park benches this past weekend. There won't be a work session in this November, for it's on Thanksgiving Day. Our public hearing for conditional use building codes, Jake Breaks, Shamrock Apartment bond will be December the 3rd prior to the regular meeting.
So that'll be 5 o'clock? Is that when you're sitting there, 5:30?
I haven't advertised yet, but I thought probably 5 o'clock because we have quite a bit of business. If that'll work with y'all.
November the 20th is employee potluck dinner. If you would like to come, please feel free to come. Board members, attorneys, TV man, engineer. Next thing I got is Planning Commission, Ms. Ligon.
Planning Commission met and we went over, first was the city's request for the storage building, and that would be a conditional use. And the Planning Commission voted to, it has to go for public hearing, but that has been, and we'll have to go to the public hearing and then Board of Appeals, and then, I know you've got it on the agenda to bid that, but it's still, it's got some time to go before you can go ahead on it. But they went over that, and then PD gave a presentation. This is just one of the 2009, here, sorry, my mic was off. There are 4 big binders that our building inspector had to pass exams on to continue to be our building inspector, and he has passed all 4 exams. It was commercial, residential, I've forgotten the other, is
Mechanical and plumbing.
Plumbing, yeah. He's passed all 4. But then we also, and this is the 2009 codes, I think we're operating on the 2006. So we're going to have to bring these up to date as far as our, and the manuals have already been purchased. Cumberland City is using these 2009 codes also, and PD, we allow him to be the building inspector there too. So that's why the ordinance will be first reading tonight, and then we'll go for the public hearing on these codes. So that is pretty much what the planning went over.
We need to wait on asking permission to advertise the building, or wait till we go through all the hoops with the planning commission?
You could probably get the motion to bid it following our building instructor's guidance or something like that, so he can tell you when
Just
to
hold
go.
off on putting it in the paper?
I would ask PD about that,
Okay. Can we get a motion to let us bid that?
I would think.
Somebody give me a motion?
I so move.
Second.
We don't need a roll call, do we? We have a motion, second, all in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. We need permission, we had a man quit the maintenance, went to work at TVA. I need permission to advertise to hire another maintenance man.
Make a motion, have permission to hire.
We have a motion, to get a second.
Second.
We have a motion, second, all in favor?
Hey, who was that quit?
Jackson, Brian Jackson.
What did he do mainly?
He done everything, Mr. Taylor.
Mainly?
Mainly,
Water,
I'm asking the man.
he was in the water, he done the water part. He's, was down to sewer system with Philip, helping, he had, before he came to work here, he knew about some of those electronics things we'd put in the pump station. He'd go down and help Philip get some of that squared away, and he
So we need somebody to replace him to do those things that you've outlined.
Yes, sir. We definitely need somebody in the maintenance to help fix leaks and do that sort of
Water
work.
leaks?
Water leaks.
Are you aware that there's one on Midway Drive right now?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware that they came and looked at it about 2 o'clock Friday?
Yes,
And
sir.
decided since I had water, they were gonna wait till Monday to fix it.
Yeah, Monday we was
So
down
they've
here.
got the street going on.
Yeah.
And when I went through town, I saw them all standing down there watching the papers. How many people did we have down there?
We got 2 workers and a foreman.
There was more than 2 workers down there.
Yeah, the pavers had their people down there. But we
There was
had-
more than 2 of the city's people down there.
I was down there off and on a whole lot.
No, you,
But we had Smith and Dew is the only 2 that's working right now.
well, them
And,
and
Jackie
one
was-
more came up
Jackie.
to look at the leak on Midway.
Now Jackie White's
He
probably,
was the 3rd one.
yeah, but he was at the water plant, I think, today, wasn't he?
Jackie's in school this week in
Yeah.
Murfreesboro.
Huh?
Jackie's in Murfreesboro this week.
Okay,
taking that distribution.
yeah.
That bothers me a little bit.
Well,
The
you
fact
know,
that you didn't know where he was.
I didn't know that he was in school. I knew he was either at the water plant or back up here.
I'm not gonna vote to hire anybody right now. May wait a month, but anyway, you can go ahead and vote on it.
Okay.
Got a motion in a second.
We got a motion second, all in favor? Opposed?
No.
We got 1 no, we need roll call.
Alderman Bailey?
Yes.
I'm sorry, this vote is to approve the motion to advertise to hire someone in maintenance. Alderman Campbell?
Yes.
Alderman Dunn?
Yes.
Alderman Finley?
Yes.
Alderman Gooden?
Yes.
Alderman Wiegand?
Yes.
Alderman Mitchell?
Yes.
Alderman Taylor?
No.
And, whoops,
It's Second, man.
Yep. Motion
Motion.
carries.
Our other one is ordinance 596, building codes on first reading. We get a motion on that?
Could I ask a question about that first?
Yes, sir.
Okay, when it's ordinance 596, that's building codes, that was the maintenance that was went over also, that's, everything is a package deal?
It's listed in that ordinance.
But that does include the maintenance too, right? The
I
lawn
believe
maintenance,
so.
I believe.
Yeah, it does. It's the,
And will the building inspector be here at the public hearing to answer any questions?
Yes, he will.
Okay.
we get a motion on the first reading.
Motion to adopt ordinance 596.
No, second.
If we pass this ordinance, are we going to enforce it?
We better.
Well, we've already got 2001 from 2007 on the books.
But those doesn't have any teeth in it that gives us a legal right to carry someone to court to do something with it. We can do it, but probably our judge would turn them loose. This has little teeth in it.
Ordinance 596 on first reading. Alderman Bailey.
Yes.
Alderman Campbell.
Yes.
Alderman Dunn.
Yes.
Alderman Finley.
Yes.
Alderman Gooden.
Yes.
Alderman Wiggins.
Yes.
Alderman Mitchell.
Yes.
Alderman Taylor.
No.
Motion carries.
A few months back, we gave chief permission to advertise for police officer, and we've got a certified officer that I feel we probably need to put to work to help them cover some shifts that we're cutting short on right now. Chief, I may turn it over to the chief right now.
We did interviews, probably last month sometime. Vice Mayor Ligon sat in with us. We had just a couple of certified officers put in, one being Mr. Patterson here, who's currently a certified police officer that's certified through post and currently current on all his certifications, and I'd like to ask permission to hire Mr. Patterson full-time for the police department.
I'll make a motion to hire.
Mr. Patterson, where were you last? Or where are you now?
Houston County Sheriff's Office.
Stewart County?
Houston County.
Oh, got it. Good enough.
They sent you to the academy.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He was hired on under Mr. Barnes. He was hired on under Sheriff Barnes.
Kenny Barnes.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Chief, you want to come back and give your report?
For the month of October, the police department answered 150 calls, issued 49 citations. We had 1 arrest, break down there, 7 accidents and 1 fatality. Also, during the Halloween events, we had no issues, no complaints, no calls during the Halloween.
And I didn't have any trick or treaters.
They had the city lit up for those kids to walk back and forth. They
Thank you.
had
6
Don't send
emergency
you a
vehicles
bill.
out just on Main Street. They were very, very pleasant.
It was just a bad time.
Well, they changed it to Friday night from Thursday night. But
I know, I had it Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday
Yeah.
night, but still nobody came.
But the police department was very much apparent. Very nice.
And I would like to say thank you to the police department and the fire department, because I saw both of them out there, and I think it made a difference and helped out.
Keeps kids safe. Yeah.
They kept the traffic under 10 miles an hour.
There we go.
It was covered real good. Did a good job.
About all the way, Chief, wasn't that one of your green trucks that they were using to haul dirt?
I believe so.
Two of those trucks he got for us was his.
It was parked up at the Methodist Church. I thought, doing good, getting us all this equipment. We through?
We hadn't got a fire chief here for a fire report. Mr. Largent, you want, no? Okay. Proud to have you. We got anything else, Mr. Pendergrass? Get a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?